Good morning, guys, and welcome. How are you today? I hope you're doing great. Hope you had a great Monday and you're ready for another great day today. Our passage comes from Matthew chapter 6, verses 1 through 4. And we're going to begin this week looking at the first of the three different big themes that Jesus lays out in our passage for the week, Matthew 6, 1 through 18. And the first of that concerns almsgiving, or giving to the poor. And so the teaching that we see here is that Jesus lays out two things, two kind of guidelines for our giving to the poor. The first is that when we give to the poor, we shouldn't have the trumpets blasting so that people would come and see what we're doing. That when we bring attention to ourselves, as was maybe common for some, though maybe not literal trumpets, that they would in some way or another bring attention to themselves as they give, we become hypocrites. We become more like an actor, someone who plays the part of one who genuinely cares, when in fact we really don't. What we're really concerned with as we draw attention to ourselves as we give to the poor is really being lifted up by others, is really the concern of what others would think about us or how they may give to our interest or support our interest, rather than a genuine concern with the poor. And so Jesus says, rather than being that way, the way that we should give is a way, again, not literal, but a way that we would not let our left hand know what our right hand was doing, that we would give in a quiet, secret way, that we would just out of the goodness of who we are, that it wouldn't just be something that we do, not just a role that we play. It would be somebody that we are. It'd be who we are to care for and to genuinely care for the poor and to take care of them. And so that it becomes, again, not just something that we do, but who we are. And so as Jesus lays out the ways that we should not give with drawing attention to ourselves, and the way that we should give in quiet secret, he says that as we do that, when we give that way, that we'll receive a reward in heaven. That when we give without any calculations in our hearts of how it may profit us or bring some kind of good to what we're trying to accomplish in life, our interests, when we give just from the genuineness of ourselves, Jesus says that we'll receive a reward in heaven. And it's not only a blessing now that we receive the reward from our Father. It's not just a blessing now, but it's a blessing in the life to come. And so as I want to challenge you this week as we look at the ways that we can care for the poor, I want you to know that it's not just the materially poor that we can care for, but there are those who are insecure, those who are oppressed, those who are going through difficult times because they've been outcast. And we see that not just in through the suffering in the third world countries, and not just through the lack of security of food or shelter of those who are on the corners of our streets in our cities, but we also see it in the hallways of our school and in our workplace, because there's also those who are emotionally and spiritually poor, not just physically poor. And so I want to challenge you to begin to open up your eyes and to look with a kingdom perspective, like Colossians 3 talks about, to have this kingdom perspective, this heavenly perspective, that we will look for those who are not just materially poor, but those who are emotionally and spiritually poor as well, and that we would begin to care for them in a way that doesn't draw attention to ourselves, but in a secret way, not only that we would be rewarded by God in the life to come and receive blessing now, but because that's just who we are as disciples of Jesus Christ, as those who have received the care and the love of the Father, because we once were spiritually poor, because we've been adopted into His family and have been given this brand new richness in the family of God, that we would care for those who haven't received that richness and who are still poor spiritually. So I want to challenge you to check out ways that you can care for and love the poor. Grab our memory verse this week, Matthew chapter 6, verse 1. Let that roll around in the back of your mind as you're going out today, caring for the poor, and all this week doing all the things that we talk about. I love you guys. We'll talk to you soon.